Okay, our next video on ancient China is on the Han Dynasty, and the main ideas are to describe the rise and rule of the Han Dynasty, describe the structure of the Han government, analyze the fall of the Han Dynasty, and characterize Han technology, their commerce or trade, and their culture. Now, the Han Dynasty is going to be one of China's greatest dynasties, and it's going to rule for about 400 years, long time. Now, the first emperor, Liu Bang, he declared that, at last the whole world is mine when he took power. But although he really didn't conquer the entire world, his reign only really extended across a territory about half as large as China's today. Now, Liu was a real tough guy, and when he took power, he was competing against a general. And this was during a civil war after the Qin dynasty had collapsed. And his biggest opponent was Xian Yu. And this general captured Liu Bang's father and sent him an ultimatum saying, "Surrender, I'll boil your beloved father alive." So Liu Bang, remember, he was a real tough guy, so he said in a letter, "Just send me a cup of the soup." So Liu called Yu's bluff. His dad didn't get stewed, and Liu Bang finally crushed Xian Yu and took control as the next emperor of China. Now, Liu Bang, like I said, he did not really care for the educated Confucian scholars. He could, pick them out because they wore these distinctive peak hats. But according to one Han historian, when Liu Bang encountered one of these scholars, Liu immediately snatched the hat from the visitor's head and he went to the bathroom in it to insult the man. Now, after Liu Bang, we're going to have Han Wudi, who takes over as the emperor of the Han Dynasty. And he replaces legalism with Confucianism. And around 100 CE, when he takes power, he starts a system of new schools because he agreed with Confucius that education was the key to good government. So he created these schools for boys that were taught by Confucian teachers. The teachings of Confucius were nationally honored, and schools were set up in each province around the country. There was a major school called the Grand School in the capital. Now, it only had 50 students in the beginning when it started, but in less than 100 years, enrollment at the Grand School was over 30,000 students. Now, this system is going to be called a civil service system, where you have students who attend school for years and become educated, and then once they become an adult and they're ready to work for the government, they have to take an exam. And they have to score so high in order to be able to be hired by the government. And that creates something called a bureaucracy, where all these scholars become government officials, and they are the administrative portion of the government that carries out the policies of the government to keep things running smoothly, because China was quite a large country. Now, the empire is going to be expanded by Han Wudi as well. He's going to make his empire much larger, pushing it to almost the size of modern China, and he defeated the Mongol nomads in the north, who constantly attacked the people. He moved his troops and his settlers into the west of China, and he sent soldiers north into Korea and south into modern-day Vietnam. To support his large government, he collected taxes. Farmers paid a portion of the crop they gathered each year. Merchants paid taxes on the goods they traded. And peasants also had to give a month's labor of work every single year so they could help building projects such as dams and building roads. So it wasn't all fun and games for the peasants of China by any means. Now, people were guided by Confucian teachings in society, once again. But according to Confucius, women were inferior to men. Women didn't do so well in Han China. Women were supposed to meet the needs of their husband and children and not become involved in other areas of life. Although some women in the emperor's family might have had some power at different times, this was very, very rare. Under the under the Han rule, the Chinese also came up with many different inventions. One of the most important was paper. Before that invention, books were printed on silk. Because paper was so much cheaper, using it meant that there were more books and more learning and education throughout the country, which is good for their government. The Chinese also improved farming by inventing a two-bladed plow to improve crop production. So that's going to help the population grow even more as well. Now, the Han Dynasty is going to fall in 220 AD. Corruption and brutality in government